Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to create a card with the Spellbinders Large Die of the Month Club Kit for January 2023. It's called Club Blooms, and I just love Spellbinders florals, so we're going to make a floral card today. Now, I'm talking a little bit more softly only because my throat's a little bit scratchy. I'm afraid I caught a little bit of a bug, and I don't want to be coughing, so I'm going to try and talk a little bit softer than normal. Okay, so other than the sore throat and the cough, I'm feeling better. I did run a fever a little bit while back, but we're a lot better now. We are going to start by doing a little bit of die cutting, and I picked my color palette. I know with the clear stamp and die of the month club kit, I went bold with fuchsia and pinks and purples. In today's card, I thought we would tone it down a little bit using some blues and some bold black too. I have Onyx cardstock, which is a black, and I'm going to die cut out the leaf flourish here 2 times along with the berry piece 2 times with the black cardstock. There's a flower center that I'll die cut out a couple times with the black also. I have Glacier cardstock. This is going to be for my background, so we're not going to use this, but I mentioned that because I have Waterfall cardstock, and then this is a slightly lighter teal colored cardstock, slightly lighter than Waterfall. This is not Spellbinders Color Essentials. I just went through my stash and found a lighter color, so I'm going to be pulling this in along with this kind of mustardy dark, maybe like a Dijon-y mustard color cardstock. So these are not Spellbinders cardstock, but I did want a darker and a lighter teal. So I just wanted to mention that. This is Waterfall cardstock, and I'm going to create a flower with that. Lots of beautiful florals in here, but I am partial to layering this 3-petal flower. If you die cut out 2 and layer them together, you have a lot of dimension. So that's what we'll do with our Waterfall, and also with that lighter teal colored cardstock. I'll die cut that out twice with that. I have some Dune cardstock. This is the Color Essentials Dune, and I'm going to die cut out. This looks almost like a eucalyptus. I'm going to die cut that out a couple times. And for our berries, I'm going to mix and match the teal colored cardstock for the berries for this branch here. I have the larger leaves. There's 2 in here, and I'll die cut out a couple sets of these leaves. And then I also have Barely Peach cardstock. There's some real pretty smaller flowers in our die set. I'm going to die cut out 3 in total. There's 2, so I'll die cut out 1 more flower here. So I have a little bit of die cutting to do. When I'm done die cutting, we're going to put together some flowers. And I have everything die cut out, and let's put together some of our florals. I have our lighter teal colored floral. I'm just going to add a dot of glue in the center, and I'm going to basically kind of crisscross them. And then for the flower center, I'll add a little bit of glue. I went ahead and used that Dijon or mustardy color, the same as the leaves, and die cut out a set of those flower centers. And what we're going to do is mix and match them. So I'll add this Dijon-y color to the flower center, and then I'll add a little bit of glue, and then we can add, it's shaped just right so where it's so easy to line up. I love that about Spellbinders. It's easy to line up. And right now it's flat, but I will fluff up the wings once that glue dries. I'm going to do the same thing with this flower. So those flowers are done. Now we have these little flowers. I'm going to go ahead and add little dots of glue. And I created flower centers with that same color we used for the leaves and for this flower center. We'll go ahead and add our... And these flowers are good to go. We'll put these off to the side. For the berries, I die cut out the Waterfall, the Glacier and that lighter teal colored. And I thought we would mix and match the berries on here. So you just add a little dot of glue. And I love that the black, or if you die cut it out with green, that little tip of the bud will pop out on the top. Let me show you. You see, you see that little very tip. I love that. And I'm just going to mix and match. Okay, so we have a few extra flower buds. We can save that for another card. So all of our florals are finished. Now we're going to do a little bit of embossing. Let me zoom out a little bit more. I'm going to be using the 3D embossing folder. This is the tiled Mosaic, and I have a 3/4 inch strip by 5.5 inches of white cardstock. I'm going to run this through, and I'm making sure that I line this up on those tiles like so. I'll run this through my die cut machine, and we have a nice border. And I intentionally made sure that one of the tiles was offset because I'm going to add some twine, and I think this is going to work out great. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to a standard A2 size card base, just using my tape runner. I'm going to place it all the way to the left. When I added my tile, I made sure the shorter end was on this side. And then I have a panel that is just slightly smaller than 3 3/4 inches wide. I wanted to make sure that this went all the way to the right, but I still see a little bit of that tile showing. I do need to trim off the bottom just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this panel to my card base. Wonderful. I'm going to open up my card base, and using my tool-in-one, I'm going to poke a hole right at the top. Since it's the top folding card, right here where the first tile ends, I'm going to poke a hole. And then using my black hemp cord from Spellbinders, I'm going to thread some twine through here. And then I'll tie a bow down towards the bottom, about 1.5 inches up from the bottom. Wonderful. Now I have a panel that, let's see what this measures. This measures a little bit over 2.5 inches wide by a little bit less than 4 inches tall. I think it's going to go perfect right here. And what we're going to do is stamp our sentiment in this area. Before we do that, I do want to do a little bit of arranging just so I know where to stamp my sentiment. And I think I better use glue. This leaf is a little bit on the delicate side, so I think glue will work better. I'm going to be using the Spellbinders. This is the Sealed Sentiments stamp set. I'm going to use the sentiment that says, I like "Be well, my friend." I think that's a real pretty sentiment. I'm going to stamp with black ink up in this top right corner. I'm just going to use my black ink. I think that's pretty. And then I'm going to add my berries. This way I know I'm not going to interrupt my sentiment. Okay, we have our larger flowers. I'm going to pop these up with some foam adhesive. I'm going to flip this panel over before we add our flowers, and then this way we can add some black pop-up foam. I'm just going to use my glue. And then we can add this to our card base. Wonderful. Now I'm going to add my flowers. This is a great way to hide those stems. And I think that's a good spot. And then we could fluff those petals up. And then for these smaller flowers, I'm going to add some smaller foam squares. And we can add a few around our arrangement. Lovely. And for these leaves, I'm just going to use my glue, and then we're going to add these. I'm just going to add glue to the very bottom, and we'll do a little tucking. And I'm going to go over these flower centers and a little bit of shine. There's a lot going on, and I don't think I need any extra glitter or anything. I'll go over the flower beds or the berries as well. And that finishes off my card today using the Spellbinders Large Die of the Month Club Kit for January 2023. It's called Club Blooms. So pretty. Everything that I used today will be listed down below in the description area. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.